Hi everyone, I'm here with Victoria the Bourbon de Parme from the World Benchmarking Alliance. So Victoria, you've been working with food and agriculture companies, 350 biggest ones in the world. Are they doing enough in terms of food systems transformation?
Well, unfortunately, definitely not enough. Very specifically for climate, we've looked at their targets that they're setting to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And there's only 26 companies out of the 350 that are setting targets which are aligned with the Paris Agreement. Now, you can be very pessimistic about that, but the optimistic side is that it is on the agenda. Companies are moving, and half of the companies are setting targets. They are measuring their targets in their supply chains, but it's undeniable a lot more has to happen at scale and at speed.
So we are heading towards COP27 this year. So that's 27 years of climate negotiations, and still, as you're saying, we're still lagging behind in terms of the action we'd like to see from the private and public sector. So what can change in the next 5 months?
It's very much about implementation and action. Indeed, we took time to figure out what needs to happen, but also to get the private sector on board. Don't forget that when we had the Millennium Development Goals, private sector wasn't involved. Now with the SDGs, there are, and it takes time to get a business strategy translated to really geared on these sustainable development goals. We all need to mobilize. So yes, it has taken a long time. But this is the moment for a real transition, for real moving beyond targets, and that's what we are in place to do. So to really see whether targets that have been put in place, are companies living up to those targets, really being an independent mechanism to measure performance of companies to realize the climate goals.
So COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, what would you like to see there?
I'd like to see ambition, I'd like to see collaboration, and I'd like to see action, lots of action. But don't forget that collaboration part and ambition, because and so we are far way ahead. But I think especially with multi-stakeholder collaboration, we can realize a lot, because everybody has a lot to learn from each other, and that's the only way we can really sustainably implement climate mitigation and climate adaptation practices. So we have a bright and good and healthy future ahead of us for ourselves and the planet.
Thank you, Victoria. So COP27 needs to be about ambition, collaboration, and action.